Welcome to TYT Sports, everybody. Ben Mankiewicz, Chris Liss, managing editor of RotoWire. RotoWire, you should subscribe. It's the best fantasy site there is. Okay, so I'm trying to embrace the Bills this year. I've retired as a Washington fan, and I've given a shot with the Bills. One of the things that makes it easy is that I like Rex Ryan. I like the Mark Sanchez tattoo that his wife has.
Oh, she does? I
think that's right. Yeah. I hope it's true. Right. And I like the foot fetish. Right. Yeah. I just like that he's got some of the weird problems that everybody in the world has. You know. Yeah. So I like that. And then it turns out he's also a huge troll. A word I don't really like using and don't fully understand. But nonetheless, I get it in this case. Yeah. So on tonight, the Bills play the Jets to bring Week 10 of the NFL season in, and he has named IK Enemkpali as a captain for this game. And this is the guy who
punched Geno Smith in the face, which Geno was set to start the year as their starting quarterback. Punched him in the face. Fitzpatrick gets the job and keeps the job. I mean, this is terrible for Geno Smith.
And the Jets cut the guy, and his former coach signs him. Yeah. We did a segment on it that it was, he was showing up the Jets. But if anybody was going to sign the guy, it would make sense that a defensive coach who worked with him before and knew him might want him and drafted him.
Some of the Jets' defensive schemes. I mean,
all kinds of that it would make sense. And so they brought him in. But making him a captain, that seems
sending a message.
That does. It definitely sends a message. He's done it before in the Miami game. When the Bills played the Dolphins, Richie Incognito plays for the Bills. Look at the captains there. Richie Incognito, Dan Carpenter, Charles Clay. Three
former Dolphins.
But the Incognito one, who really sort of, changed the direction of the Dolphins with Jonathan Martin. Not in a good way. Right. So again, it seems like there's at least a little needling going on there. Right. And then he did it when they played the Jaguars as well, which was in London, by making the entire offensive line captains. Doug Marrone, who'd been the Bills coach, quit to try to, I think, get the Jets job, right? And then didn't get it and had to settle for, so he walked away from being the head coach of the Jets and he's the Jaguars offensive line coach, which is basically, you're not in the NFL.
Right.
And so he sends the offensive line out there against Doug Marrone. I don't know, what do we think about this?
Well, I mean, I think it's hilarious, and as like a fan and an observer of football, I like it. Of course, what's not to like? And he can do that, and it's not illegal, and it's not, he's not really harming anybody except somebody's egos or getting under their skin, which I think is fair game. I would be a little worried if I were a Bills fan like you that this dude's a serious guy. It just seems like you don't see Belichick doing stuff like that. You don't see great coaches. John Wooden, in his day in college, who wasn't trolling the other coaches. It just seems a little unserious, but I don't have any problem with it, except insofar as, maybe, his team should play better and not, be focused.
Yeah, I mean, right. If Rex were always doing stuff like this, but I mean, it's just picking the cat. It probably isn't anything. Right. He seems to be able to have a little fun with things and stay. No one is arguing that Rex Ryan is like Steve Spurrier and isn't preparing. Wants to be home by 6 o'clock so he can get in 9 holes before the change of seasons. So basically, I like it. I like Brandon Marshall, by the way, said that told the New York Daily News, typical Rex. Are you guys surprised? He has the balls to do it. So even Brandon Marshall's like, come on, it's all right. And Rex, by the way, says that told reporters the selection of Enemkpali, at least, was never a thing of disrespect, for it's hard for me to understand all this talk. I'm pretty sure he understood there was going to be talk. But anyway.
You just wonder that, do you have to be a humorless douchebag to be a good coach in the NFL? I mean,
it seems like
it's just that demanding of a job that you just have have to be like that.
It may be, although who's Pete Carroll, not humorless.
Friendly,
he's got So all right.
He was saying that this is the best trolling since Jeff Fisher, who
which
was really, I mean, because all this other stuff. I mean, it sucks for Geno Smith, but honestly, the Jets got better when Fitzpatrick took over, so he did them a favor. And most of the stuff, Marrone, it's a job, it's just one guy. But the trade for RG3 is just such a disaster for your former team. I mean, think about what they gave up. They gave up, what did they give up? 2 first-round picks, including the very early one.
Right. And one additional one, because they obviously were going to give up the one on the switch.
Swap.
Yeah,
but
the
I mean,
swap.
it's just for
no, it was
now.
We check out that tweet up there, sort of. Although, as you look at some of those names, it didn't. In hindsight, it was a terrible trade for Washington because they gave up all these picks, and this is picture and for a quarterback who played one effective year for them and probably will never take another snap. But it's not like it turned the Rams into.
No, they didn't do well with those picks. They should have done better.
They should have done better with those picks. But that was a great bit of trolling there. Yeah.
And Washington could obviously respond saying, well, we wouldn't have done well either with those picks. So, you know.
That's right. Look, if anybody was going to do worse with those picks than the Rams, it was going to be Vinny Serrato. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe below. Who do you like in that game tonight, by the way?
I like the Jets. I like the Jets to win by a touchdown.
So 2.5. You like the Jets? Yeah, I'll probably stay away from it. I'm just kidding.